Hey, what's happening, guys? I hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to talk about a sequel that has taken over 20 years to develop, T2 Trainspotting.
Here comes Jonny, yeah, we're living dogs, that's for shame.
This one reunites the original cast: Ewan McGregor, Ewen Bremmer, Jonny Lee Miller, Robert Carlyle. They are all back, and once again, Danny Boyle is directing. This story picks up with the character of Renton, played by McGregor, that comes back to Scotland after 20 years of living in Amsterdam. He has successfully kicked the drugs that nearly ruined his life, and when he returns home and sees his old friends, Spud, Bigby, and Sick Boy, Renton realizes that the past doesn't always forget, and that time doesn't heal all wounds, and that sometimes relationships can be changed forever. Now, I know what you may be thinking. This is a sequel that has taken 2 decades to come to fruition. We know how this is going to turn out, given we have seen this happen a handful of times over the years with really no success. And I will also admit, this movie nowhere near reaches the level of impact the first Trainspotting captured with its characterization of these kids that get wrapped up in the underground world of heroin. But it was still a solid movie, a very good sequel, and a fun, nostalgic ride for anyone who was a fan of the first film or the characters. Admittedly, these films aren't for everyone. The humor and the drug-related subject matter will certainly not appeal to all, but I happen to love the first Trainspotting. It came out when I was a senior in high school, I think, and while at the time I thought it was fresh, highly unique, and cool, I guess you could say, as a teenager I still watched it as a cautionary tale given my life at the time. And I don't know what it was about watching these young characters lose control of their lives that was something that, even at the age of 16 or 17, was something that really captivated me for some reason, but it was also a glaring warning. But I thought that story was very complete, and to be honest, I don't really think this movie needed a sequel. So with all that said, the chances of this film being better than the first were impossible, but it was still a solid film that stood on its own with a compelling continuation of these characters that I thought made the first film such a great one. And with all the original cast coming back, the chemistry and the character dynamics were really able to pick up right where they left off, and it was just awesome to watch. And I found it intriguing to sit back and watch the older versions of these characters and see the turns their lives had made over the years. The impact of their childhood on their lives were all visible in very different ways for each of them, and as were the ways they dealt with the remorse of some of the things they did as kids, and it was something that was all conveyed very well through the dialogue. I thought the performances were all fantastic. Everyone clearly looked like they wanted to do this sequel, and it shines in their chemistry. You could see they all really enjoyed coming back to play these characters once again, and they gave the film some charisma that made it just extra fun to see. I thought the story was well written. The snarky Euro humor was well placed. It was very effective and created some laughably organic moments between the cast. The humor was more somber than I was expecting, but it did sort of fit the reflection of lifestyle tone that this script had. I also thought Danny Boyle's direction and the cinematography of Anthony Dodd Mansell were very well done, and together they weave a beautiful movie. There were some subtly brilliant moments. I also thought this film used the nostalgia factor in a very good way. Images and clips from the first film are used to tell certain parts of the story and capture certain moments, and it was very well done. This movie doesn't force the first one on you, and it displays plenty of effort on wanting to be its own film. On the downside though, the story did take a little bit long to develop. This movie doesn't really get going until the second act. Also, it's a little too polished. The first film was a low-budget project that I thought felt cold, gritty, and it fit perfectly the mood and tone of that story. This one was just missing that, but it didn't really drop the enjoyment at all. It just didn't provide that strong element that made the first one so impactful. But overall, T2 Trainspotting was a solid sequel. I enjoyed it, and I'm going to give it a B. It was an interesting film that gives us more of the well-developed characters that made the first film so great. You do not necessarily need to see the first movie before going into this one, although it could provide some helpful moments of context, but the way the writers really bookend each film make it easy to go and watch this one and then go back and watch the original as a prequel if you'd like. And that's my review of T2 Trainspotting, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm going to go back and watch the first Trainspotting film and do more of an analyzed review on that one, so be on the lookout for it. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I am battling through a cold right now and I cannot breathe very well, but I wanted to struggle through it and get this one out. So if you did like this video, make sure to drop it a like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you never miss anything new. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been another SilverScreen Analysis review, and I'll see you at the movies.